Seventh-day Adventist Church. Um, he is a member of the church that you can almost see him in. If you don't see him on a particular Sabbath, there's no how you would ask, why is this person not in church? And he doesn't. He also, tries his best to reach out to everyone in church, check up on them, and know how they are doing. Basically, he is somebody with a very good interpersonal relationship, and I'm sure he is very well equipped to participate to this topic to us. It's no other person than Deacon Israel Innocent, right? And I'm sure when the time is right, we're going to hear him. Um, Innocent Israel is a seasoned professional with over 7 years of experience in the finance and operation sector. He holds a BSc in business administration and has worked with two major firms in Nigeria, Access Bank, and currently as a team lead in operations at Emerging Africa Group. Innocent's expertise span process optimization, customer service, and business analysis. He is dedicated to drive impactful change in the entrepreneurial landscape and is passionate about leveraging his skills to support SMEs and traditional businesses. Innocent is also committed to develop system that enables global sales for SMEs, ensuring their longevity and success. With a strong foundation in finance and operations, Innocence is poised to make significant contribution in his field. Wonderful. Right. I just want us to sit back and enjoy um this topic this evening or the discussion this evening. Um, yeah. All right. For to go on, I would employ the media team to please play the theme song, and after which Brad Innocent Israel would speak to us. Thank you.
I'm resting on the upward way, new heights I'm gaining every day, still praying as I onward bound. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground. Lord, lift me up and let me stand, by faith on heaven's stable land, a higher plane than I have found. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground. My heart has no desire to stay where doubts arise and fears dismay. Though some may dwell where these abound, my prayer, my aim is higher ground. Lord, lift me up and let me stand, by faith on heaven's stable land, a higher plane than I have found. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground. I want to scale the utmost height and catch a gleam of glory bright, but still I'll pray till heaven I found. Lord, lead me on to higher ground. Lord, lift me up and let me stand, by faith on heaven's stable land, a higher plane than I have found. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Please confirm you can all hear me. Can you all hear me, please? Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. We can hear you.
All
Good
right.
evening.
All right. All right. It's so Exciting to be here, and I want to especially welcome every one of us for joining tonight leadership section. And I also want to start by saying thank you so much to the leadership series for having me join lead out tonight. It is something I really hold at high esteem, and I do sincerely appreciate. I don't know if Brother Bean can share my slide. I just have one few slides I would want us to look together. Okay, so this evening we're looking at a very important topic that talks about building meaningful professional relationship. And tonight we want to look at something beyond just networking. We want to look at relationship that's rooted in trust, collaboration, and long-term value. You know what I have in my introduction says professional relationship is. I want to look at it beyond the word professional. I want to target relationship because either in the professional setting or either in our day-to-day or casual relationship, it is very vital that we pick out some things from tonight's topic because it's really going to help us. We all will agree that professional relationship is very, very vital to our success, whether with our colleagues, with clients, or even our mentors. Yes, we have relationship with our mentor, but how well do we keep it? Strong relationship has the power to unlock so many opportunities. Next slide. Strong have opportunity to unlock opportunities, improving collaborations and enhancing our personal growth. So one of our goal tonight is to see how we can walk through strategies that has worked for myself and others and how it can work for us. I want to start also by saying that I heard a quote from Izu Uoma, and it kind of really speaks to what we're looking at tonight. He was talking about the inner self, and he started by saying we've all have heard the popular quote that says, tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are." Then he also pressed further to say that tell me who are your friends, and I'll tell you what your future will become. And he says that if you walk with the chicken, you will quack like the chicken. If you walk with the eagles, you will fly like the eagles. And if you have about 5 friends who are billionaires, definitely you would one day become the 6th one. And you would all agree with me, it starts by relationship. It's most defined by the kind of relationship we have with people around us, not just the office setting, not just the client setting. I know we're all leaders, but then again, as leaders, we need to press further to have a relationship with everybody. Yes, but tonight we'll just be, cornering it to the professional relationship. We'll go to next slide that talks about the mindful professional relationship is not just about having so many contacts. You ask somebody, you say, "Oh, I have every other contact," but it's about the quality of the contact we have. And in able to keep this contact, we need to first of all be mindful of mutual respect. You need to have mutual respect. You need to be mindful of trust. And you also need to be mindful of shared goals. Shared goals. Think of it like relationship as building a bridge that supports your journey and that supports other people's journey. So think of you building a bridge that helps you to cross to the other side, and not just you, but help other people cross to the other side. One of the most important thing about having a mindful relationship is not just having everybody around your corner. I mean, you would all agree with me that we can't have everybody around our corner. We can only have few people. Now, if you're not going to have everybody around your corner, you need to have special people. And in order to keep these people, first, it needs to come with a lot of respect. Several people want to be respected, either be our colleagues, clients, mentors, or even people around us. And you would agree with me also that relationship cannot strive without trust. If I don't trust you, I don't think I can ever do anything with you. And I would also say to everybody, I mean, if you don't trust someone, why should you keep a relationship with that person? It doesn't help. It doesn't grow anything. So one of the most important things that we need to have at heart is that in no matter the kind of relationship we have with anybody, there should be a significant level of respect. Yes, next slide, please. Which talks about the pillars of strong relationship. Pillars of strong relationship. And we look at the 5 components, which talks about trust, communication, respect, consistency, empathy, and emotional intelligence. Yes, we've established the fact that trust is the foundation of everything. So in order to even have a relationship at the first place, you need to have trust. You need to trust somebody in order to do business with them or talk to them. And keeping communication is very, very strong. If you walk up to, let's say you walk up to somebody you've been looking forward to be a mentor, and he or she agrees to be your mentor, and then after you've established the trust, I mean, the trust has come in, and you say, oh, sir or ma, I would want you to be my mentor. And after that very day, you said, I want to be your mentor. You don't take up on the person, you don't call, you don't reach out, you don't do anything until like another 6 months. Then you come back and say, sir, you're my mentor. It doesn't suit, it doesn't go well. One of the strong pillars of professional relationship is you keep communication. Always try to reach out. Always try to hear from them. It necessarily doesn't mean that you need to provide anything within your power, but just a little hi, a little hello, we go a long way. Then we look at respect. You would all agree with me that sometimes people just need their space, including husband and wife. Yes, even husband and wife need their space. Just want to even run away from each other. They don't want to come close. Now imagine you being a client or a colleague, or even to somebody randomly on the street. You don't learn how to respect boundaries. You don't learn how to genuinely give people their space. You just bug into that time. You want to talk to your client, you're reaching out to them like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and say, sir, we have these 2 products we want you to buy. I'm not sure anybody would want to take you serious. And as leaders, as professional leaders, we are meant to be quite mindful on respect. I mean, a lot of people are big on respect, actually. And consistency. Most people have shortfall in consistency. It is one thing to establish trust, communication, and respect. It's another big deal to be consistent. Now, you also need to be mindful about not bugging, if I may use that word, not bugging people, not making them feel inconvenient or forcing them to be part of a system. But consistency in this aspect comes from the fact of um, building something reliable, something sustainable. So, I mean, one thing I know somebody does in the church that I really admire so much is every new month, he or she just sends a message from his WhatsApp to everybody. I'm wishing them happy new month. And the next month, the same thing. The next month, the same thing. And every month is like that. That is consistency. And once in a while, he drops a prayer for you, or just reach out to say, hi, how are you today? How is it going? Just something very light, not always about when it is time for an activity. And to me personally, I feel like this individual has kept up with a healthy consistency communication with me, that anytime he wants something, even at the dead hour, I would always come through. It's just like few minutes to something, and it'd be like, oh, bro, I can't meet up with this. I just need you to come up. And you just see me say, okay, no problem. And one of the reasons is because of the kind of relationship he has been able to build over time with me. And it is something we really, really need to be mindful about. And when we look at empathy and emotional intelligence, we would all also agree with me that in dealing with people, you don't have to be insensitive. Let me use that word. You don't have to be careless. You don't have to be loose with words. You don't have to be less self-aware. You're dealing with somebody who just lost someone, and you just walk up to the person and say, the person have died, now you have died. I mean, the person is dead. Why should we worry? Let's just move on with the work now. Are we not handling the project? Or maybe there was just a crazy traffic along the road, and the person all of a sudden came in late, and being a leader or a supervisor, you just flare out. Why would you come in late? Why would you do this? Why would you do that? And that is not being mindful. That is not being empathetic, or not even using emotional intelligence. Something that we all really, really need to be mindful about. One of the things we establish while starting this topic is that professional relationship is something that can significantly grow everything we do. Everything. You need to have a relationship with the cleaner. You need to have a relationship with the gateman. You need to have a relationship with the bus driver. You need to have a relationship with everyone. In fact, one of my late mentors, in person of Dr. Azogo, would say, um, you need to have a relationship with the police, because you can never tell when you will need them. And that is the truth. You can never tell when you will need the help of a policeman. So you just need to have one around your corner. And one of what you need to do is actually be mindful of these kind of things. Be Have that emotional intelligence to say, oh, let me even tip this person. Let me give this person something to hold on to, not something significant. And one of the strong thing we need to understand is that in being mindful of professional relationship attitude or leaders, you don't even spend so much. You don't you don't need to go out of your way per se to please yourself. We'll go to the next slide. I talked about three important factors, which one is building relationship within the organization, building external re relationship, and of course, the role of emotional intelligence. like I started by pointed out not too long that in building a relationship in the organization, you just need to, go out of your way to get to know people genuinely, not because of transactions. Um, in while I was in the bank, you would see how people who are high network individuals just go out of their way to know people. They don't have any serious business to do with you. In fact, just having a communication with your MD or with the branch manager is enough, actually. But they go out of their way to collect your number, to follow up with you, to talk to you. Not something huge, but just to check up on you to say, oh, how is work today? How are you feeling today? And all of those things they're just doing is to, maintain a healthy relationship for the day that transaction will come to the bank. And when it's like a tight corner, the first person they call is you, not even the branch manager. They call you to say, please, can you quickly help me with this transaction? And because you know that this man has always been forthcoming, he takes up on you randomly, he does not give you issues. I mean, you jump on it immediately to say, oh, I would want to help you. So it is in our organization. We need to have a relationship with people. Some persons are like, I like to maintain my space. I don't like the Gen Z word we say see finish. I don't like see finish. I just like to maintain my space. But the honest truth is that in this era, in this global time, you would agree with me that the world is a global village. And the world is so small that you just need to keep relationship with people. You can't be an island of your own. If you want to grow, if you want to um, achieve significant success in terms of career, you just have to extend this relationship to other people. Part of what you should do is to genuinely know people, offer to help, be the first person to ask to help people. I mean, I'm not saying that you should do the hard things, but just offer to help, offer to help. We are actually still on, yes, thank you. So offer to help people. Don't don't neglect. Don't just leave people to drown in what they're doing. Stretch a hand of help. Because whenever you stretch a hand to help somebody, definitely one of these days or one time, that same hand will stretch back to help you. In building external relationship with either clients, partners, or even circular people, we need to also genuinely pay attention to them. Oftentimes we see when clients say, "Oh, I'm trying to reach out to this person, this my account officer. I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to say. I'm trying to." So most of the times they are trying to say, but the receiving end is not listening, which is, Oga, I don't hear you. Oga, I understand. Oga, this is how we used to do it here. Oga, we need to break protocols here. Oga, it cannot. No. In order to build strong relationship with external people, one of what we need to do is actually listen. Just pay attention and listen. I mean, you could even hear them rant all day, lament, and you know that there's nothing you can literally do, or just, I mean, politely to tell them to say, oh, sir, we've had everything you've said. While we honestly would have loved to shift grounds or do anything, the policy of the company just says this. Sometimes it just makes the client feel relief, just knowing that somebody listened to them. I was just there. And I was able to rant and share and pour out my bitterness and my anger. And the guy really listened. When we look at feedbacks from how other people responded to clients' requests, or even how transactions were attended to, one of what they usually pick out is the act of listening. That's even a, a big a big conversation on its own. The act of listening. And in order to build a very strong relationship with external people, you just need to be very, 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 very careful about listening to other persons. Most persons don't just they don't care. And if I were to cite some few examples here, you would all agree with me with the telecom company and some situations we have with them whenever such issues arise. And it's painful. And as leaders, it's something we need to really, really take note of. The role of emotional intelligence in relationship. I mean, we can't overemphasize the importance of emotional intelligence. You need to, first of all, be self-aware. You need to be empathetic. You need to be adaptable. You just need to be that person that people can relate with, no matter the issue, no matter the challenge. They just you're just on point. And I I would like to share an experience in my workplace. So this particular period, we've had a lot of people come in as new people in the organizations, and so even my superiors or my bosses reach out to people in getting to know them one on one. And while they are trying to talk to people, and they just when it gets to my turn, I literally don't do much. But the kind of response I get is, "Oh, I think I've always known you for a long time." Really, like, "Oh, I think I've always have this connection or this relationship with you for a long time." And I'll be like, I didn't do so much. I didn't say anything. It's probably walking up with them with a smile or checking up on them at work to say, "Hi, what's up? How's work going? And how are you settling in?" Just very little things. Emotional intelligence is it's a huge it's a huge key. I mean, if you understand yourself very well, that is a way you can now learn to understand other people. We've seen situations whereby some persons don't know them. They don't even know when to crack jokes. They don't know how to ease up the stress in the room. And they just do something, and everybody just look at them with a kind of sense. They just look at them with a kind of vision. It's more like, I don't want to relate with this person because it's not my kind of person. And being a leader goes beyond my kind of person. Is actually being able to be adaptable, fit into every system. I mean, I'm not saying that we should fit in into corrupt or bad system. We have the systems in our place of work, even in general life also. But being able to be a force that everybody just gets attracted to, that kind of force that we know that you are a Jesus baby or a Jesus brother, Jesus sister, but you have an amazing accommodating skill, somebody that everybody wants to collaborate with, somebody anybody have issues or pain, we just run to. I mean, you're not even that guy who says within themselves, if I'm getting an idea that will give me more from this company, I'm just going to hide it within myself. I'm not going to share. You're not even that person. You're just somebody who is relatable. and it's a lot on emotional intelligence. And one thing that we also need to understand about emotional intelligence is that a lot of people is going on, like a lot of people are facing a lot out there, a lot. Just few days ago in the office, and in a meeting that I was in, so they asked a particular colleague of mine, and they asked him, they said, "Oh, why have you not delivered on this report?" Now, this is a very junior colleague to us. So the top ranking person says, "Oh, why have you not delivered on this thing? And I called you all through yesterday, and yesterday was supposed to be weekend," that kind of a thing. And the junior colleague, not understanding the emotions and anything, just burst out and started, pouring out how he has been working overtime. He's just a young staff. He has not done this thing before. And he's facing a lot, XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. And when we went back to review everything that happened within the senior colleague, we were able to understand that, first of all, it's a partial part of senior colleague to actually be mindful of, younger colleague, and also for the younger colleague to learn and to improve. But that's to state that a lot of people are going through a lot. Like everybody come with a huge baggage to work. Everybody come with a huge baggage on the street. So sometimes you just need somebody who can empathize with them, who can understand them just a little bit, not so much, just a little bit. It will go a long way. We'll go to our next slide that says common mistakes to avoid. In talking about building strong relationship with people, we need to make our relationship go beyond transactional. There are some people that will call me now as I'm on this meeting, I will know it's purely transactional. It is. We all have those kind of people around us. And they don't call you for anything. It's either they are calling you, it's just pure you can even tell. In fact, you will structure the conversation in order for them to quickly say what they want to say. So we just need to be sure that we are not also part of that particular team, to be sure that we don't keep relationship with people because we just want it to be transactional. We just want it basically on transactional basis. Avoiding poor communication. Communication is like you kind of flog the word communication in all aspects of life, be it family, business, organization, even with God. It's so important that in keeping relationship with God, you need to communicate. If you don't tell God what you want, God will not do anything. Remember how we read a place of the Bible that says the children of Israel cried and God heard. And um, one of my mentors now asked jokingly and say, "Oh, is it until when they cry?" Which means relationship is very important, and keeping a poor relationship is a no-no. Is a no-no. You can't run far or run high keeping a poor relationship. Ignoring follow-ups, and disrespecting boundaries. Looking at the word ignoring follow-ups, somebody reach out to you and you're struggling to respond or follow back. When you need the person, you're quick to jump on the call to say, guy, please, what about this report? Have you submitted this? Have you done that? And like I said, disrespecting boundaries. In keeping relationship, you need to also understand what works for other people. What really works for this guy? Is it the same thing as me? Or do we think the same way? Can I just jump on the call anytime with this guy? Is this guy as friendly, as innocent, like how Brother Daniel would mention? Or is he just somebody who would prefer to always talk in the morning, at night? I mean, these are very, very key things that people just commonly do that we really need to take note of as leaders. And in taking note of this, we stand a chance of building a long-term relationship with people. When we go to the next slide says about long-term relationship management. Long-term relationship management. We've looked at common things that people usually make that spoils relationship. So how can we even manage the one we have? Remember, we started by saying that in this whole world, each and every one of us don't need more than 150 people contact. Now, when you want to bring it closer to your inner circle, in your growth factor, in your leadership, whatever factor you want to factor it in, you probably want to pick 5 people. So how can we make these 5 people feel welcome? How can we make them feel comfortable enough to journey with us for the next 5 years, 10 years, or even 20 years? Consistent communication. We're back at communication again. Guys, we cannot overflog the importance of communication. And communication is not just all about saying, hi, I just wanted to check up on you today and have a nice day, bye. Communication is not just about saying, oh, hi, my name is Innocent. Um, I'm an operation person. That's it, bye. Communication goes a little longer than that, goes a little step further than that. In also watching out for people, in also looking out for people. These are just the little factors you do at your place of work or in your environment that makes you outstanding, that makes you the star light of every show. If we were to pick one person who constantly reach out to everybody, I know who to pick. If we were to pick out somebody who is intentionally about remembering people's special day, I know who to call. And people who would definitely offer help without expecting anything in return. I mean, we'll all know who we will call. And this tiny factor, as small as they are very, very significant in keeping a professional relationship. Mind you, in order to succeed in all spheres of life, we need a certain form of relationship. And we have established that trust, collaboration, and long-term relationship are part of the pillars of this. And in fueling this long-term relationship maintenance, we've talked about constant communication, remembering people's milestone. Maybe somebody is just 2 years, maybe the person is celebrating birthday, or anything, anything at all. You just reach out to them and say, oh, congratulations on this, well done. Um, I see you, you're doing a great job. That's it. And somehow it just resonates on those people on how you are so important to them. And mind you, while you are building this bridge with them, you're also building a stronger link bridge for yourself to cross the other side, offering help without expecting anything in return. I mean, these days we would all agree that work is too much. Workload in our office, everyday life is too much. So you having to even see one person to offer help or that constant person that offer help can be very, very scarce. But if you can able to manage what you do and also try to reach out to that person for help or reach out to other people to help them, it goes a long way. It does. It really goes a long way. And continuous improvement with people, it's another thing we can't even speak on. Sometimes some persons, even the high and mighty, just want you to reach out to them and say, oh, I think you can improve on this aspect. I think you can improve on this aspect. I have a friend that whenever I do something that is not so it's not so good, probably a presentation like this, and he listens and come back and say, "Oh, guy, you did well here. You did well here. This is where you need to improve. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do." And this has been some of the things constantly fueling our relationship. I would like to cite some experience that I've gained over time from strong relationship. I remember a certain time while in the bank. I think I've shared this story a couple of times. While with Access Bank, I was at that point where I was a junior staff and I was quite frustrated with the whole work. I just felt like I wanted to do something else. I just wanted to move on from where I was and to do something entirely different. I was just so tired. And I was just moved to this new branch. And trust me, it was not pleasant. Let me use that word. It was not pleasant. And it didn't stop me from doing my day-to-day job and improving on my relationship with other people. I I met this guy who randomly just wanted to withdraw funds from his estate account. And when I say estate account, it means that he either, I think, yeah, he lost his mom. Yeah, he lost his mom because an estate account is from a deceased person. So he lost his mom and wanted to withdraw money from his mom account. I mean, that has been given to him legally, of course. So he withdraws this money time without number, specifically on Fridays or Thursdays. Within those 2 days, he usually comes to the bank. I remember very well because of the benefit I got from that relationship. So he withdraws his money and he goes. And from there, from the kind of conversation we keep having, oh, how are you today? How is work? Hope it's not stressful. Hope you're doing well. I mean, just simple, light conversation I usually have with my client. Then one day he just asked me, "Would you want to do something else?" And I said, "Yes, I would want to do something else. I've been praying for it anyways." And he said, "Okay, I'm actually the HR of my company where I currently work." He was like, "Oh wow, so this guy that I've actually been attending to is a HR specialist." And he asked me if I wanted to do that particular role. And I said I didn't want it because it was a sales role as of then. And I didn't want to do anything sales. And he said, "Okay, no problem. I'll be on the lookout." And in few months later, he came back to me. He come back and said that, "Oh, we have another opening. Would you want to do it?" And that was like a perfect role that I wanted. And I said, "Oh yes, I would want to jump on this one." And I mean, imagine a HR personnel referring you to a particular role. I mean, you can guess what would happen to you, even if they have world best candidates for that particular position. How did I even get myself there? It was just simply relationship, professional relationship that got me that far. And ever since then, I can I can continuously count so many aspects, so many ways that keeping a professional relationship with just people that I've met one time has significantly helped me. And oftentimes, what I do is not that I offer them money, not like I don't even offer them gift or anything. It's as simple as just smiling or shaking or asking them how their day was or just be genuinely interested in them. Those are just like the simple things that I do. And that's it. That's that's just skyrocket the kind of bridge that would later happen in the future. We can move on to the next slide, which is the ending part of the slide. I mean, the key summary of all what we're talking about in relationship aspect is relationship are long-term investment. Just as how we keep money in our bank, our investment, we should also see relationship like that. It's not something that we should throw out. And it should be genuine, consistent, and listen more to everybody, not just to people that are our clients. You say, oh, I pay more respect to my clients. No. And we should focus on adding more value. The important aspect about adding value is that you don't have to put so much in a relationship in terms of adding value. It's just the little things you do that speaks on value. I mean, these are the key take home that I would really want us to reflect on. And we could also turn this coin the other way. Either we are the junior team or even the random person that have not um, started this practice or that is on this practice. One of what I want us to take home is to spread this word of communication because it really helps. I've been in several settings where people don't even know how to meet or talk to people to even sell their product. I've been in several settings where people struggle to even introduce themselves. And that's because of not even understanding the value of relationship, not even understanding where to go about it. So if you're on this call and I mean, all of these ticks out in your box, another take home is not just to keep this knowledge to yourself, but to also see how you can spread or coach other people because building relationship, professional relationship is not just a one-way thing. It's meant to be like a spread. One of what leadership series is doing is continuously equipping us. And in equipping us in becoming world standard leaders, we are coming back to leadership series, to the church, to prove ourselves. And I mean, we can go on and on to strike great professionals among us that leadership series has helped and has come back to identify as people who are on this team. So that is one thing I want us to take home, not just to be carriers of these things within ourselves, but also be the spreaders. So be the junior person or the senior person, know that keeping a healthy professional relationship, not just to colleagues, to clients, but to everybody, is significantly important and valuable. It will help us succeed. It will help us reach out to great milestones, and it will help us get to the top that we have signed out. Basically, that is all on what we are discussing for this evening. The next aspect is questions and discussion. Thank you so much. I don't know if we have questions or contributions. I strongly believe that we have great minds with high who have been in the system of relationship way before me that could speak so much on this. We would like to hear additional tips on things that we can take home to add to what we have at hand. Of course, we're taking questions also. Thank you. Do we have anyone who would want to say anything or speak? Okay, I think we have a hand raised. I believe this is Brother Emmanuel. Chinedum. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everybody, and good evening, Innocent. I
Evening.
think this topic actually came handy. I think last two months I was just battling in my workplace, so it wasn't like something spoiled, but then I think it was something of how best to manage pressure. Right. I try to link the topic to pressure. So when you have your colleague, which at actual sense they should be like the people to help you to strive. And if they can help you once, help you the second time, that means you are building yourself around them. So I have a question, and this question is like, okay, when you meet a colleague that in your lowest mind, this person will definitely help me to strive, right? But then you keep getting like a negative feedback from them, or I'm in a confusion state and I've walked up to you, walk up to second person, walk up to third person. So my question is, how best do you manage those pressures? How best do you manage those circle of friends that you look up to? How best do you get it done right without one putting a negative reaction? Because why I'm bringing this is not like I think it's literally affected me in the sense that yeah, I had to get a very, very negative feedback from the persons I worked with, because when you've meet someone and you don't just go and escalate the person because the person don't help you out, you just have to swallow it up. And then at the end of the day, your superior, that's your manager, is not seeing you as someone that is just in his privacy. So the question is like, how do you manage those kind of situations?
Okay, thank you so much, Brother Chinedum, for that question. It's one that I would first of all throw to the house. I mean, like I earlier said, that we have very senior professionals who have dealt with relationship with both in organizations and corporate world, even in secular world, now on this call. And I would also want them to speak on it. While I don't put them on the spot, I just hope they can speak. So one of what you can do is, first of all, come with the mindset of becoming or be a different person. So I earlier also mentioned that people are actually going through a whole lot. And in the aspect of going through a whole lot, some persons have a strange mindset. And what I mean strange mindset is that they believe that if they are helping you, or if they are releasing information or collaborating with you, it actually makes them feel less, or they are giving out their strong point. That is how some persons are. And maybe because they've worked in very toxic environment where it's all about chasing the target, submitting on time, who is the first or who is the leading. Yes. In aspect of those people, one thing I would say is be different, be unique. First thing first is, as much as possible, try as much as possible to be different. While you're facing pressure, if you have to take, because it's about the job, if you have to take that particular issue to a superior who is in charge, please do. Make sure that you're able to iron out carefully the job. Make sure that you get more understanding. If your colleagues or your friends who are meant to help are not helping, take it up to the senior person. Let them speak on it. Let them do something about it. But in that same environment, be the different person. Be like the golden fish in the small river. So let it be that everybody cannot go to anybody but can come to you. But in such situations where you are being faced under serious pressure, the first step is to always take it to a superior. Okay, so I would like to take Edakachi, his hand is raised to add on this. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you, very innocent, for this presentation on relationships and how to maintain and keep them effective. Maybe I was distracted at some point. I didn't hear about conflict, because in every relationship, conflicts are inevitable. Sometimes, no matter how good it is going, something could happen. Maybe a miscommunication, maybe a misconception, maybe some level of little forgetfulness here and there, and then there is a conflict. Sometimes these conflicts do not even, one party may know about it and feels hurt, and the other party is not really aware that something is wrong. Sometimes some people keep some kind of beef for long, and the other person, it's when things begin to happen, you begin to realize that something is actually wrong. When there are conflicts in relationships, what is the best way to go? How can people resolve conflicts in relationships without destroying the relationship itself? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Edakachi, for that powerful question. Honestly, we can't exhaust looking into professional relationship. There's just a whole lot that we just had to cut. I had to cut short in order to maximize our time and to have touch some very, very important places. But when we talk about conflict in relationship, conflict is bound to happen, especially within colleagues, especially even within circular people. If you are not involved directly in that conflict, if you're not involved directly in that, one thing that I would advise you do is try as much as possible to maintain a neutral ground. While this party wants you to join their party, maybe because you have a larger voice or a stronger voice, to maybe close out on the case or continue on it, try to maintain a level ground. Because at the end, we all need everybody to grow. There is no need to cut out one and use one arm to continue. As much as possible, try to maintain a neutral ground. But if you are in that conflict, one thing I would advise, first of all, is see how you can maintain peace. Now, in most aspects, especially in the workplace, we see some people very, very, very bitter. And even if it's not your fault, it's not on your bidding, it's like you're totally free on this matter. You still see when people come up to rub it on your face like it's your fault, even when it's clearly stated that it's not your fault. Try as much as possible to promote peace. But if it consists, if it lingers, if it's becoming a threat to work, there are some conflict that becomes strong threat to work that that without it, the work is no longer moving. Take it to the higher authority. And my first higher authority is God. I mean, another topic that we possibly want to even look at is God at the workplace. God at workplace. Take it to God first. Pray about it. Pray about it almost every time. Call this individual, try to resolve it. Try to get on the common ground. And you know, sometimes when you're trying to get on the common ground, it's most likely that you'll be being at the losing end. But try to be at a common ground. But if it persists, if all of these measures seems not to be fruitful, then it is important to take it to the top head of the company, the board of members, the directors to review. Because when it becomes a threat to work, when trying settling it amicably or coming at a common ground seems to have failed, and maybe the person has sworn to say over his dead body, would they see you strive at this? Then you know that it's a serious battle about prayers. Constantly pray concerning the work and even relationship, but try to put it at a common ground. And if it doesn't start a common ground, take it to the top authorities for clarity. I mean, there are policies and standards that set everybody apart. Look at the policies again, look at the standards again, and refer to that so that the work can continue. And I don't know if I was able to touch on the question a bit. I know you still have something to say. I was hoping you could speak on it and also talk about Emmanuel's question about managing pressure with colleagues who are not forthcoming also.
Thank you, Bro Innocent. Yes, yes, you touched on, like you said, it's actually a very wide area. Relationships are as old as man itself. So it's not something you can cover in 1 hour. There are always other areas coming up every day, and it's a very dynamic topic. If I caught Emmanuel's question right, I think it has to do with maybe parts or members of a team not pulling their weight as much as possible, and maybe allowing, because it always happens. I always tell people, every team, there are teams that are actually almost perfect. There are those that are not very perfect. But whatever it is, you could have 5 people in a team, and then 1 or 2 people are the ones who are carrying the weight of the team. And the other 3 could just relax, and sometimes it becomes a big burden for the 1 or the 2 who are doing a lot more for others. So in such situations, you have you need to persuade and persuade. I have let me give an instance. I have an old school class, and I'm the president of the class. And just about 2 weeks ago, we had our anniversary. I think it was our 9th anniversary of coming back together after we left school about 30 something years ago. And what happened was, there are 5 members in the administrative team, and I'm heading that team. And the other ones, 1 or 2 of them will most likely act like they don't really care about what's happening. So leaving the work for maybe 1 or 2 people to do everything, bring all initiative, make all the plans. Even when you have a meeting, those ones, sometimes they don't even show up, and so on. So when it's like this, you need to try not to push your group or push your team into conflict. Most times, the way we react is how it is seen. The reaction you give in such situations is very important. If you go out in anger, trash the person for being useless and all that, you will not resolve any issues, and you will not come back stronger. But if you go back and take a time off, invite that person alone, have a discussion. Don't make it like you're running the person down. Have a discussion and then talk with the person. Tell the person, look, I know you can do this better. I'm assuming you have some challenges that are distracting you from doing it. Why don't you share so that we can find a way to help and make it better for everyone? And the way you present this to people will actually determine how they respond to it. You can find out that they now start doing a lot more than they were doing before. But if you go out and speak in anger and try to make them feel bad, call them names and all that, you will not get the desired result. So I think it's all about your level of maturity, respect, like you pointed out here. Respect is very important. Even when you think somebody is not performing or is not doing well, you need to show respect to that person. Find out what the problem is. Go deeper. Go deeper. Try to find out if there are any other circumstances. I think it's called extenuating circumstances that is making this person not, pull his or her weight as much as possible. And then from there, you can find out that you reveal a whole lot, and now find out that this person is actually a giant. and it could come out surprising the whole team in performance. So it's about the way you respond, the way you respect. It's always very important. If you go hard the first time, you probably not get the kind of response, the kind of result that you are looking at. So you might end up, the person that was even the weakest link in that team may not end up being the best, the brightest spot at the end of the day, depending on how you respond to that seeming lack of effort by that person. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elder. That was a very powerful contribution. I hope that really helps Brother Emmanuel. I hope that really helps Brother Emmanuel towards managing your team members. Another thing I would also, okay, Portals Outreach, Seventh Adventist. I really don't know your name. There, Brother Emmanuel or Ebenezer.
It's Ebenezer, actually. Good evening, everyone.
Right, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Good evening. Wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. Just a bit of trying to add to what Elder Kumado has said, and maybe to also help Emmanuel a bit. I think from my little experience, one of the things I've noticed is, yeah, especially when performance is not meeting expectations, the office environment gets toxic. So if there's conflict or if there's disagreements arising, one of the things you can do is perhaps leave the office space, go to maybe a relaxation spot or somewhere where you're just able to breathe a new set of, you're able to breathe fresh air and have conversation. That is one very key way for you to be able to resolve problems with your teammates or problems in-house generally. Leave the office area, go to somewhere neutral, somewhere different, speak about all these things, trash it out. It could be an evening get together, it could be, and it's not necessary a team leader for you to get this to happen. You can also push for it to happen for your team. I'm sure organizations have budgets to be able to cover for these things, but I think it's very important whenever you're having wahala or for the lack of a better or just trouble arising from different areas, things that are not supposed to be causing a problem begins to be a big deal. Everybody is taking everything personal. Toxicity is just there, like nobody is feeling the job again. Everything just doesn't seem to be working smoothly. Leave the office premises, go out of the normal 9 to 5 and your routine, do something different. And that's a very good opportunity for you to talk this out. And I believe when you're even in a public space, even if you want to trash it and if you had the mindset of exchanging harsh words, when you're in the public space and everybody's looking at you, wouldn't do that. So just from what I've known, and I've seen it work a lot of times with people, leave the office area, go to a neutral ground, speak these things out, trash it, and yeah, I believe that will work. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Brother Bain. That's also a very powerful one. In nutshell, I really sincerely hope that we've been able to take something home with us, something that we can add to our relationship with our workspace, even our family, down to our family. Yes, I really hope we've been able to take something that we can apply today and really be effective. And because of our time, I would like to thank everyone for having me again to speak on this topic. I hope we could I could get another time to speak on this again. Thank you so much. God bless us all. Bye for now.
Thank you, Innocent. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you so much, Brother Innocent, for the beautiful presentation talking about building a meaningful professional relationship. And of a truth, relationship is everything, because for you to succeed, you must meet somebody that will, either speak for you or support you, coach you, guide you, train you, that will help you to get to where you want to get to. So relationship is very important. And amongst all the things you said, talking about the pillars of building this meaningful relationship, you mentioned trust, communication, empathy, perfect emotional intelligence, and the likes. Yeah, so they are all apt, and I really learned a lot today, and I believe it's same with every other person as well. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you
Yes.
loud and clear.
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Just to be sure I wasn't speaking to myself. All right, so it has really been a
Yes, we
wonderful
can hear
one.
you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for the contributions. Thank you for the questions. Roy Emmanuel, thank you for being there. Ralph Komadu, thank you for your sharing your wealth of experience with us, and also giving tips to how we can also manage pressure and also deal with some conflicts when they arise in the office. And then to Ebenezer as well, as the convener, and also contributing to the topic of today. Thank you so much. And to every other person on the call, really appreciate you all, and we hope I will keep the same date with us again next week. On Tuesday, you'll be having another presentation from another person with a fresh idea as well. We can also learn together. And I want to use this opportunity to also remind us that tomorrow, being Wednesday, we'll be having a prayer session. So let's come as well prepared with our prayer requests. Hopefully that God in His infinite mercy will hear and answer our prayers. And then on Friday, we're having our Bible study and lesson study as well. So please also make it a day to be present, because that's where we get enough time to expatiate on the lesson, ask questions, make contribution. And then Saturday, just like fraction of the minutes we spend together on Friday to just summarize and then study the lesson together. So thank you so much, everybody, for being part of today's session. Hope that by